Carlos Corberán has vacated the West Bromwich Albion managerial position and has been replaced by yours truly on a 1-year deal worth £10,000 a week, which probably makes me the club's lowest paid manager in its history. But regardless, I'm not someone who demands the big bucks just yet as a young 19-year-old manager, although I am 20 now. Just to clear anything up, if anyone's concerned about child labour, wouldn't be anyway, but there we go. This is the new West Bromwich Albion Football Manager 2023 series, copying Carlos, where I will look to replicate Carlos Corberán's attempts to take Albion back to the Premier League. I say that without hopefully jinxing anything. However, we are looking good. A great win at Luton at the weekend. I just hope, as I said, I haven't started this and everything goes pear-shaped. I saw a few rumours about West Ham being interested in Corberán and as a potential long-term successor to David Moyes or whatever. So let's hope this sort of scenario isn't replicated in real life anytime soon. I don't think it will be for anyone interested. I think West Ham will certainly look for someone more experienced if they're going to get rid of Moyes and try to stay up. But yeah, this is copying Carlos, FM23. We're taking over Albion. We're going to try and get them to the Premier League, as hopefully Corberán does too. We're not going to go and look to copy tactic for tactic, role for role, this and that. We're just going to try and get Albion back to the Premier League, playing some decent stuff as we are doing under Corberán currently. Here we go. Well, as you can see, we're being welcomed to the club by Mr. Ron Gourlay, controversial figure amongst Albion fans, as we know. And I'm being kindly reminded of our miserable failure to have not won a major trophy since 1968. It says we haven't won a competition since 2008. That's the championship. But 1968 is the last time we won a major competition in the FA Cup. We did win the league, the first division, back in 1920. So maybe we can sort of establish ourselves among some of the greats from the Hawthorns in ancient years. Is that fair? Ancient? Maybe not. Yeah, we've won one First Division, 5 FA Cups. So I think 5 FA Cups for a club of Albion stature is actually a great record. 3 Championship titles. We've won a League Cup in 1966, was that? Yeah. And 2 Charity Shields. I didn't know that. I didn't know Albion have won that twice. So, interesting. This is what I like to see as well. The fans, whilst they do want us to get the playoffs, it's not as important as being competitive against Villa and Wolves if we play them. So, yeah, we haven't got too much to shout about at the moment, Albion, but fans, as long we show up against Wolves fairly often, so keep that coming for sure. And Villa, we've had some bad memories of. I'll never get over twice in a week under Pulis. That was a bad memory, I've got to admit. Yeah, closest we've come to Wembley in a few years, I think. So, bad memories. Clearly, Lies pulling out all the big bucks because the players are going on a pre-season training camp to Bridgnorth. Not a place exactly renowned for its pre-season training camps. However, hope the players enjoy it. Can't afford planes to anywhere. Can't afford ferries. Bridgnorth it is. Yeah, I think they have those like carts, don't they, on a wire in Bridgnorth? I don't know, cable cars. I don't even know what I'm on about, to be honest. But yeah, I found it pretty funny that the players are going to Bridgnorth, which is fair enough. Because we're not going off a blank canvas and we have got a sort of source of inspiration in terms of looking at what Corberán's doing and trying to replicate that, at least initially, with our team selection, the squad report and report from your assistant coaches isn't as important as it is when you are going into a club without a real sort of idea of what you've got within the squad. So obviously you go through the squad planner, you'll be able to see, okay, wrong selection there. The average height, for example, I've got a Halzone Town save going on and we're below the average height and concede a lot from set pieces. So that tells me, I need to try, if possible, bring in players with a bit more height here and there. However, as I said, we've got a bit of inspiration here for what we want to do. So we've got our team laid out and our tactical blueprints ready to go. Let's see, Alex Palmer in goal. Obviously on a great run of form at the moment. Decent stats this year, which is good to see. Connor Townsend is selected as a wing back. I think that's fair. Obviously getting his goal at Luton. There's a lot of support, adding width and stretching the pitch when Phillips is playing on that left. He's cutting inside more often than not. Eric Peters I've got selected as the one and only ball playing defender for a bit of balance. He's got great stats, Peters, on the game. So I'm interested to see how he gets on. I said yes, so could have gone with 2 ball playing defenders. You could say O'Shea's a ball playing defender. I just like a bit of balance to have one of a different role there. Furlong, you'll see I haven't got selected as a wing back and as a full back with an automatic role. That's just because I think when you've got Jed Wallace, who's more of an old-fashioned winger, stretching the pitch, balls into the box, creating chances, you're less reliant on the attacking support from Furlong, so he can get up there if needed, but he's also happy to sort of maybe even maintain a back 3 structure out of possession. You've got the double pivot there in Yukuslu and Malumbi. Yukuslu is more of a sort of screen player who's going to shield the mid defence and sort of act as whatever we need him to be, I guess, when you've got Malumbi to then go out and really get in the faces of attacking players. He'll be flying in with the challenges. He's more of the all-action player, whereas Yukuslu, you could say, is maybe more of the sitter perhaps. I think if you're relying on one of them for attacking support, maybe it'd be Yukuslu with that support role, but I'm sure both are equally capable of contributing, as we saw at Luton in Malumbi's case. Inverted wing, you've got Phillips, so he'll be looking to cut in, get shots and crosses at goal. You know, Phillips can create, he can be a good player on his day, but that's the thing with it with Matt Phillips, it's always on his day. So hopefully we can add a bit of consistency to his game. John Swift, I think, is the playmaker of the team, or the advanced playmaker role does suit him more so than any others. So you've got the option of having an attacking midfielder who maybe provides more of a direct goal threat. Same with the shadow striker. However, I do think Swift is a player who likes to link up more, likes to create, arguably prefers assists over goals, but obviously you'll have to ask him that. I've got him as the advanced playmaker, so again he's linking up, and maybe Phillips, Wallace and DK are more of your goal getters or direct goal contribution makers, if that makes sense. As I said, Wallace, winger, old-fashioned winger, get the ball into the box, beat your man, create chances, what a player. And Daryl DK I've got selected as a complete forward, which is a role I haven't used much of, but basically because players in non-league aren't well-rounded enough to play it. Whereas I'm obviously going up to the Championship now, and DK, whilst he's not perfect, he's a bit, again, rough around the edges, it's going to be interesting to see him playing that role. Again, usually you'd probably say he's more accustomed to that target man, or even an advanced forward. I don't know, I've clicked on his profile there, that didn't help anything. A bit of a fluke. However, yes, so you could have an advanced forward or you could have a target man. However, the reason I've gone with a complete forward is I think in real life Corberán is hoping to see DK link up play whilst also getting goals. So that complete forward role sort of combines everything together. And then on the bench you've got some favourites like Taylor Gardner-Hickman, not David Button, he's on the reserves, Ted Cairns in just because he's not David Button, Bartley and Ajay as the two defenders, Livermore and Reach both on the bench because I need midfield cover. Yeah, no comment. And then you've got a bit of attacking flair in the likes of Rogic, Diangana, Grant and Thomas Asante. Obviously I'd like to get Thomas Asante involved. The same goes for Diangana and Rogic. However, I'm not a fan of Carlo and Grant. Yeah, he's got decent stats. I just look at that face and I'm not a fan. Don't like his work off the ball, despite decent numbers he picks up. So that's the tactical lineup we've gone for. Anyone interested in instructions, here we are. I think we play at quite a high tempo at Albion. We do play it from the back. We tend to play it short. We'll get Townsend overlapping down that sort of left hand side too. We're not particularly we don't particularly stretch the pitch more than any other team, so I'll leave that standard. Get balls into the box. we'll leave it again because we've seen a bit of everything, haven't we? As I said, we play out from the back, like to counter press. I was tempted to play a high defensive line. I've left that on standard. Could have a bit of a problem with that gap between the attacking sort of quartet and the defensive unit. That gap there. However, I do think I'm just a bit wary of Peters and O'Shea not being the quickest. Maybe if we bring a Jay in for one of them at some point, that could change. But again, even if we bring Bartley in, I don't think you wanted to play too high of a line. But it's going well for Albion at the moment. And we have got Palmer as a sweeper keeper, so we could be covered there. On the reserves, it's just it's obviously Mowat and Kipper out at the club. It's just the group of outcasts really, so I won't say anything more on them. Alright, so as you can see, we've actually agreed to make our first signing. However, it's not a player, it's a signing to the coaching team. And yep, that is former Arsenal and Holland attacker Dennis Bergkamp. Going for the big names. I just thought, I looked at our coaching team and we've got a couple of assistants or a couple of coaches that Corberan have brought in with him, and we've got James Morrison too. And I think their coaching attributes on the game aren't as strong as I'd possibly like. The attributes affect stuff like morale, training, happiness, and do impact the effective training. So on player development, can players reach their potential? They'll need the best coaches to do so. Let's say if we're trying to shore up our defence with defensive sessions, they're only going to have their maximum impact with coaches that can coach defensively. Bergkamp's not one of those coaches. However, you'll see he boasts 17 attacking and 20 technical. So with this positive style of play we're trying to implement, I think he'll be a handy addition to the coaching team, and we'll let the rest of the gang try and sort out who tries to teach us how to defend, because I've got no idea. So I presume the question on everyone's lips is what we're going to do with transfers. Are we going to stick with the current squad, or are we going to try and make moves and improve what Corberan has? And I think the answer to that I'm going to go with is keeping the squad as it is in real life. You can just click a button which disables the first transfer window. However, I completely forgot to do that, if I'm totally honest with you, and I can't be bothered to go back and set the whole save up again. This has all been brought on by a couple of loan offers we've had. If this was real life, I'd be accepting both. A good offer from Ashworth to go to Charlton on loan, and Cleary has got offers from League 1 Cheltenham, League 1 Forest Green, so some decent offers there. However, up until January, we're going to leave it as it is. Obviously, I think Albion may make a move or two this month. However, I wouldn't be surprised to see nothing happen either. So for now, we're going to keep the squad up until January to replicate real life and try and go from there. So we'll reject that for Ashworth, and we'll reject that for Cleary. I'm going to try and just keep on rejecting these offers. I mean, it might get too much. I've still got players on the transfer list, etc. But I'll keep on rejecting them, and hopefully they'll end up stopping until January. So I won't be showing you what comes in or whatnot. Interesting, just looking at the budget there. That's our budget to the very max is only 2.5 mil, so not too much room for signings when it comes to January. However, we could probably get one decent addition in from that. I think there is one thing I meant to do though, which you might enjoy, with a nice backdrop of West Bromwich town centre. What a lovely place you can see there. Where is he? Here he is, Kenneth Sahor. Let's have a look at his stats. They're not going to be pretty, are they, these stats? I mean, to be honest, the game. How's the trick of? I can't even say that. Surely his best role as target forward is a big lump, but the game does him a bit kindly, I think. So I'd have something like. I mean, I was looking at these mental ones. So your off the ball, teamwork, determination are all rightly low bravery. I guess he has got the physicals. Also, you know, we might have seen his physicals back in his day at Cardiff. There you go, work rate 7. Basically, I don't like Zahor, so what I'm going to do is move him to the under-21 squad, whether he likes that or not. Right, so I've decided what I'm going to do as I take on the press from Ryan Jordan from the Birmingham Mail. Not quite the same as having real names, is it? You can have the real titles, but it would be great to see Joe Chapman there. So whilst I take on the press conference, I think I'll catch up with you guys just before the season kicks off. So we're going to sim through all the friendlies, show you how we get on from then, and hopefully start the season with a win. At Middlesbrough perhaps. I'm not sure if it's got the real fixtures on or not, we'll have to wait and see. We're almost at the friendly roundup now. I realised my webcam in the top left is actually cutting a bit off, so I've moved to the bottom left now. Hopefully that's better, but I thought I'd just explain a little mistake I've made. So as you can see, Dennis Bergkamp has been appointed as a coach. Welcome to the coaching team, Dennis. I'm sure you'll love the West Midlands. We've got a Greggs next to the ground and a bakery and all that sort of good stuff. But he's also taken on the role of under-19s manager for the Netherlands youth side. So he's combining the roles, which is interesting, but there we go, we'll let him do that. However, I thought that meant he was going to just take the Dutch role and not come to us. So I lined up a backup plan, another pioneer of our great game, the much loved Sammy Lee. Has returned to the Hawthorns after a brief stint alongside Sam Allardyce during the COVID season. So I've appointed 2 new coaches, meaning my coaching team now consists of Jamie Monroy, James Morrison, Sammy Lee and Dennis Bergkamp, alongside of course Ala Cron and the goalkeeper coach too. So pretty stacked in that department. It's not your typical backroom set, is it? We've got a few mixed characters in there, but I'm sure it'll work out. And I think I can now just take, you know, that sort of Steve Bruce sort of style of, you know, let the coaching team do the coaching. We'll hang back, we'll chill, and you know they can take the training. So you can see here, we can edit the coaching assignments. So obviously we don't want the assistant manager to take goalkeeper handling, but there we go. Get me off defending. I'm doing a Steve Bruce and not doing any coaching. We'll get Sammy Lee on defending, I reckon. Yeah, Sammy Lee can do defending. Attacking is obviously going to be Dennis Bergkamp, isn't it? We'll get Morrison on a bit of possession. We know he's a classy player. And fitness is just going to be the fitness coach, isn't it? Or should we let Jamie Monroy do a bit of attack? Oh, by the looks at Jamie Monroy's good at fitness. I don't really have a clue what I'm doing, to be honest, with these drills, these assignments. Sorry, coaching modules, whatever you want to call them. But you know, we'll ask the assistant to assign and just take me off everything. Let Sammy Lee do all that. He's the man. Yeah, there we go. So our pre-season has come to an end, and here's a little overview of how we've done. Kicked off friendlies with a 2-1 win over Oxford United at the Kassam Stadium. Goals for Swift and DK, 2 goals in 3 minutes there. Then we lost to Shrewsbury, disappointing, 1-0. Daniel Udo with the penalty. Then we played Man City. These 3 games in the space of 5 days. Whoever's organised that needs sacking. That's ridiculous. 3 friendlies in 5 days. And you could also see on there, Daryl DK got injured against Shrewsbury, so I'm not surprised playing so many games so quickly. We did lose 3-1. We scored against City though. Yokuslu getting a goal and actually ended up with an 8 rating, which was way better than any of his teammates. Dias, Gundogan and Morris giving them a 3-0 lead at half time. Then we went to Peterborough, went to London Road and won 3-0. Swift, Ajay, Andy and Garner, but an injury for Wallace this time. What? No, look at that. There's 4 games in a week. That is ridiculous. I've never had that before. Obviously, like, you know, I didn't choose these friendlies. The game sets friendlies when you start the save or whatnot, but it's never done this for me before. Like, on any game the last 3-4 years I've been playing Football Manager, that's so weird. And then we've just ended with a 2-0 defeat against PSV Eindhoven at the Hawthorns. Interestingly, Fode Fofana getting both goals there. So we are ready for the first game of the season against Middlesbrough. You just see now the team appear fairly well drilled after a hard summer of training. You can see that tactical familiarity bar has rocketed up. And you can also see a couple of injury concerns. So ignore the fitness for now. Obviously, we've just played a game. But Dara O'Shea suffered a fairly hefty injury, and so did Livermore. So we'll have a look in the medical centre how concerned we should be about both injuries. So Livermore's a hip injury. He's out for 4 to 8 weeks still, whilst O'Shea should be back probably after Middlesbrough, so we may have to go with a J there. Pulled hamstring, not surprised, played that many games. Expected to return on the 28th of July, which is just after the Middlesbrough game, isn't it? Or it's a week on from now. No, so it's just before, but I don't think he'll be fully fit for then. Wallace also pulled some knee ligaments against Peter. I'm not surprised. The amount of games we played was ridiculous, but it looks like he'll be fit enough to play a part at Borough. So yeah, I think I'll meet you there then, ready to kick off the save against Borough, who of course, like Albion, have started so well under Michael Carrick. You know, it's the two former teams in the division alongside Burnley and Sheffield United. Two teams whose form has really been mirrored all season long. Obviously, starting so slowly under Chris Wilder and Steve Bruce. They've both hired young, progressive managers and are both finding themselves in the playoffs now, aren't we? So it should be an interesting matchup being against Michael Carrick. I never really thought I'd say that though, to be honest. Here we are then, ready to take on Borough in the opening match of the season. Drew this one each in real life, so obviously looking to go one better today. We've had a few knocks and injuries, as I alluded to, overseeing those pre-season games. So looking at Dara O'Shea, I thought he'd be touch and go, and it is. He hasn't trained, hasn't returned to full training, appears to be in decent enough condition to play the game, passed the fitness test, but I'm going to leave him out of this one just because he hasn't returned to full training. I'm just a bit unsure, to be honest. That does leave a doubt in my mind. Other sort of worries we had were over Connor Townsend, who again has passed the fitness test, only recommended 45 minutes of action in this one. However, I'm going to take the gamble on him as other options of Reach and the youth of Ashworth as well. So I'm a bit unsure whether to go with one of those depth options, whereas Townsend's the main player for that role. Also, Jed Wallace had a knock, but I think he's recovered and he's looking good and can play at least 75 minutes there, at which point we'll probably rotate wingers anyway and attackers. So the only sort of real significant change from what Corbrand's going with at the moment for Albion is Semi Ajayi in for Dara O'Shea, who's out with injury. Carl Bartley will take a place on the bench there. Carlin Grant is also out of the 18 because I'm opting to go with Adam Reach to provide slight midfield depth due to Livermore's injury. He's fully out for another 2 to 6 weeks, so we'll see how he gets on then. Martin Kelly also picked up an injury in training just before the game, but he was not going to play regardless. So yeah, let's go. It should be an interesting game. We're in the blue and white according to Football Manager, whereas yellow and green in real life, but it shouldn't make too much of a difference. I'm looking forward to going head to head against Carrick. So let's have a look. They've gone with that 4-2-3-1 that suggested pre-game. Isaiah Jones is a danger man. Rodrigo Muniz on loan from Fulham is the striker. There's our lineup. I like the graphics and whatnot in the game this year, or the layout, and how the table and the scoreline are all officially branded. Let's go though. It should be interesting to see how we get on at the Riverside against a good team. I'm not sure we can exactly expect to dominate Borough instantly. Have we got the extended highlights on, which is what we do not want. Oh, they could be in anyway here. What more? And they almost scored straight away, so not the most encouraging start, but let's hope for a bit less of that. So another early highlight as Semi gets it clear to Swift. Now DK can hold it up. Now Wallace has to go and get at his man. He's not going to have too much support from Furlong. He's maybe Phillips Wood from Townsend on the opposite side. The J, who's captain in this game, goes towards it's Phillips, and DK gets there. And it's not too far away at all from Zach Steffen's post. Obviously a good goalkeeper in net for Borough. It's been a lively start to the game as Swift will pick the ball back up again. Now it's Furlong driving down the right hand side into Wallace. Swift in a pocket of space here, he's got a chance. It's John Swift 4-0. I don't know how that hasn't gone in. DK, it's a tap in there. Now Borough have a chance from a dead ball situation, and Johnny House, and it'll take some strike to beat Palmer from here. He's gone for it, it's wide of the post, but need to come up for air right now, less than 10 minutes in, and we've already had 4 shots. Interesting. Keep an eye on your expected goal stat there. Often a good suggestion of which team is sort of dominating proceedings and the match momentum too. Also a good indicator. As we approach the 25-minute mark, I'll just look to speed things up slightly. I'm happy looking at the statistics so far. Expected goals of 1 already, just past the half-hour mark. It's well won back by Wallace up the pitch to, and Furlong will capitalise. Gets to the byline. Can he get a ball in? He can. Towards Matt Phillips, who's not known for heading the football. I'm not sure I've ever seen Matty Phillips head a ball, but regardless, it's Malumbi who'll go to Swift in behind, and John Swift will get there and give us the lead. It's an interesting goal. It was Malumbi with the ball in behind, and Swift gets there and heads it past Zach Steffen. I'm sure we'll see a replay now. And I'd say it's probably been coming. We've won the ball back really well as soon as we lose it, and there's Swift getting on the end of a long ball over the top. Not pretty, but effective. I'm sure Carlos Corbrand wouldn't complain about a goal like that. A bit like DK's at Luton on Saturday too. Approach half-time, probably offer some praise for the players, to be honest, because I'm happy with how it's gone. Stats are in our favour. We could have had more, really. Got to try and ride it out till half-time now. Matt Clark, obviously, as mentioned, former Albion. With Watmore, slips it inside for McGree. We could be in trouble here, but Palmer will hang on pretty well and roll it out straight away, and we'll look to build from the back once again. Take half time now though, going at 1-0 up at the break. You can't really go wrong with that. And there we have it. Yeah, we lead the break, courtesy of John Swift's header. Stats do suggest that we are in control. 12 shots, only 2 on target, mind you. And Borough, whilst they've had more than half less shots than we have, they've accumulated considerable expected goals from that tally of shots. So we've got to keep our eye on them, that's for sure. So back underway in the second half as Borough go fairly close from a free kick there, headed over by Lenihan. 10 minutes in, it's the first highlight of the second period. Just looking at our player ratings here, and they're fairly strong, apart from really you're looking at Daryl DK on a 6.5 and a J on a 6.6, so I wonder if that's something to do with the role we're playing DK in. Obviously a complete forward is quite a complex role, asking a lot of the player, and there we can see Chuba Akpom has made an appearance for Borough. I think December/November player of the month, and rightly so. I think he's top scorer in the league, isn't he? A phenomenal sort of turnaround to his career at the Riverside. And Ryan Giles as well, a dangerous player coming on for Jones. I'd imagine will give him a bit more width. So to counter that, I think I'm tempted. I'm going to knock the time wasting up, that's for sure. We'll slow it down as well in possession. I'm going to actually look to force them inside and go against that width then. I mean, although we've been successful, I think it should help, especially if Giles is coming on to sort of stretch them. Malumbi's on a yellow card. I'm slightly concerned about that, so we'll replace him with Gardner Hickman. Going to keep Furlong on, same with Ajayi. We'll take DK off, we'll bring on Thomas Asante, see if he can do any better in that role. How are we looking fitness wise? And I think I'll probably bring on Diangana for Jed Wallace, who did have a slight injury, didn't he, in the build-up. For now, moving on to cautious, so we'll just look to seal it. If not, or we're not ruling out the prospect of getting another goal as well. It's not like we've gone park the bus and we're going to completely abandon ship and what we've been doing so far and how well that's worked. But it is important we do go slightly more pragmatic, let's say. As Borough come forward, it's a good ball that. Or will they actually score before we have a chance to change things? They almost do. Chuba Akpom should have scored that. Played in by Giles, unmarked. Semi's got dragged over, and that was a big chance. That I'm actually going to bring on Adam Reach in place of Connor Townsend. Funnily enough, again, not a massive Reach fan, as I don't think many of us are. But Townsend struggling fitness-wise. We've got a few tired legs out there now. We can do something sensible, sort of move Reach back onto a defensive role too. Drag Phillips back there. He can always operate as a bit of cover. We've seen him do that many a time under Tony Pulis too. There we are. There we have it. John Swift's goal at the Riverside Stadium bags Albion a first league win under my stewardship. Whilst I'm probably not on Carlos Corberán levels, you can say I'm actually better than Steve Bruce, considering we've gone to the Riverside and won, courtesy of a John Swift goal, as he did in real life. He did score one, didn't he? But this time we've held on and got a win, which I'd probably say is deserved. Looking at those stats, I think they responded well second half. We perhaps weren't as clinical as we liked, or would have liked to have been. Can't really go wrong with a 1-0 win away from home. Well done, lads. That was good. Yeah, that's probably a fair comment. As we approach the end of the press conference and they're asking me about transfers, which I've already said we're not doing any. Do I have a good relationship with Michael Carrick? Yeah, I like Michael, and I don't know if he knows of my existence. Probably doesn't, but I reckon we'd be good friends if we met in real life, and we'd probably get on, have a similar outlook on football and life. Good interview with Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, I think, on the League of 72 YouTube channel, could be worth checking out. But that will bring the end to this first episode of Copying Carlos, the West Bromwich Albion FM23 series. I hope you enjoyed it. Bit different, something I've tried out, and I think it's paid off. Not sure if there's any other Albion Football Manager series out there at the moment, but yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Get involved, share it about if you enjoy it. Look at the table as we head into episode 2. We were 8th after one game. Just the first episode, you want to get all that sort of admin stuff out the way, tactics, coaching staff, set your position out with transfers, etc. So just the one game in this one, but a good one to look forward to next time as we meet former Albion head coach Slaven Bilic. And Watford obviously wasn't in charge at the start of the season when they played, and hopefully we don't concede from the halfway line this time from Sarr. But yeah, brings an end to the episode. We win our first game. Thank you for watching. Comment and like and whatever buttons are also there if you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.